Good morning, KELOLAND. It's 10 minutes ahead of the hour. We'll get to today's top stories in just a moment. But first, let's send it over to meteorologist Scott Mudd for a check on your morning forecast. A nice day on the way, Scott.
Oh, definitely. Day much like what we had yesterday. And temperatures will eventually warm to the 70s and 80s. Though it looks like we are starting cool, as we should. Numbers are in the 40s and 50s right now. And we'll have plenty of sunshine as we do go through the day today, and light winds, too. Temperatures, we have 50 degrees in Rapid City, 48 degrees in Huron, 42 in Aberdeen, 49 Sioux Falls, and 48 in Yankton. Our forecast today is for a high of 76 in Sioux Falls, 81 in Mitchell, 81 in Wagner, 78 in Yankton. Northeastern South Dakota, temperatures probably upper 70s to lower 80s today. Plenty of sunshine, light southerly winds. Central and western South Dakota, looks like we'll have temperatures in the 80s. We'll have more details on the KELOLAND Live Doppler forecast coming up.
Thanks, Scott. The trial of a man accused in a fatal shooting in Rapid City more than 3 years ago continues today in Pennington County. 17-year-old Ronald Blackcloud is being tried in adult court for second-degree murder in the death of the 43-year-old victim. The victim's widow testified that two of her son's friends showed up at the house the night in August of 2018. The victim got in a shoving match with one of them, Ross Johnson. After telling them to leave, Johnson was armed and gave his gun to Blackcloud with instructions to shoot the victim. Johnson was earlier sentenced to 20 years in prison on felony charges in connection with the shooting.
The Morton County Sheriff's Office is investigating the vandalism and theft of road signs in south central North Dakota near the South Dakota border. Road crews found that about 15 signs at intersections on a 6-mile stretch north of Solon had been run over or stolen. The sheriff says replacement of each sign costs about $250, and the vandalism also causes a significant risk for drivers. Damaging or stealing a sign is a misdemeanor, punishable by a $500 fine and 30 days in jail. In northwest Iowa, authorities in Sioux County are looking for the person or persons responsible for dumping garbage in a farm field. It happened northeast of Hospers. As you can see in these pictures posted on Twitter, several household items were left scattered in the field. The sheriff's office asks anyone with information to give them a call.
Law enforcement across the country are seeing an increase in dangerous counterfeit pills. In South Dakota, the Division of Criminal Investigation says thousands of pills were recently recovered in western KELOLAND. The state DCI says around 6,000 counterfeit M30 pills were seized by law enforcement in Rapid City. Just last month, the DEA issued a public safety warning about the increase in fake pills that potentially contain fentanyl and methamphetamine.
125 South Dakota soldiers are getting ready to head to the southern border. An activation ceremony was held in Sioux Falls yesterday. The 1742nd Transportation Company of the South Dakota National Guard is getting deployed to the southern border following a request from the Pentagon. Several state and local officials were at the ceremony, including Governor Kristi Noem, the mayors of Sioux Falls and Flandreau, as well as South Dakota's congressional delegation.
I think these ceremonies are important because it gives people like office holders and like the general community an opportunity to come forward, look these servicemen and women in the eye and say thank you. We understand the cost that you are willing to pay in the defense of freedom and in the defense of keeping our nation safe, and we can't thank you enough.
This will be a 9 to 12-month deployment for the soldiers. In July, Noem sent 50 South Dakota soldiers to the border following Texas Governor Greg Abbott's request for help.
KELOLAND veterans are getting ready for the second Midwest Honor Flight this year. The first happened just last month after being grounded for nearly 2 years due to COVID-19. Ahead of the upcoming flight, a fundraiser was held in Garrettson on Sunday. Greg Miner, who is on the Midwest Honor Flight's board of directors, says this flight will be taking 120 Vietnam veterans to Washington, D.C. This is only the second time they have had an all-Vietnam veteran flight.
We are actually one of the top honor flights in the nation, and it's because we know exactly what we do, and there's just so much behind the scenes that you don't see. But at the same token, it's making sure that the vet and it's their one last flight with honor. And everything's devoted to the vets.
Miner says 800 veterans are on the waiting list to go on a flight, and they have 5 scheduled for 2022.
The last remaining closure order in the Minnesota Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness has now been lifted. Superior National Forest officials say that the hot and abnormally dry summer caused extreme fire danger and prompted a complete closure of the popular wilderness in northern Minnesota. Cooler conditions and recent rainfall have helped keep the fires in check. Bicycles have been in high demand and short supply since the start of the pandemic. Spoken Sport opened its second Sioux Falls location in late August on South Cliff Avenue. Store manager Tuesday Vanderweide says business is good, but the wait on some bikes could stretch into next spring or summer.
We do have some really awesome hybrids here in the store. We get tricklings of some nice high-end stuff too that isn't already spoken for, but the back order list is long and people have been waiting, and they've gotten their bikes while they've waited too, and it's been worth the wait.
Bikes definitely in high demand. Things are a little slow to restock, but we are getting bikes in every single week.
Spoken Sport on Minnesota Avenue is changing gears for winter. They now carry winter sports equipment, including everything from snowboards and downhill skis to clothing and accessories.
If you have a new or gently used coats and other winter apparel, you could donate them to keep KELOLAND warm. Once again, the St. Francis House is a drop-off site for donations. The nonprofit will work with other organizations and schools to get them to people in need. Through the month of October, you can also drop your donations off at any Lewis location in Sioux Falls, except for the one downtown.
There's still a chance to become a multi-millionaire. No one won Saturday's Powerball jackpot drawing. That means the biggest lottery prize in more than 8 months is growing. The estimated jackpot for the next drawing tonight is $670 million.
Well, it's not quite winning the lottery, but it might be close. The giant pumpkin weigh-in at Riverview Christmas Tree Farm in Canton brought in a record-breaking pumpkin on Saturday. Greg Kurkowski of Watertown won the title this year with a 1,823-pound pumpkin, breaking the state record set in 2010. Turning to weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian, should be a good day today to get outside.
Yeah, and pumpkin picking, I'm sure much of that's still going on, and yeah, why not, right? With these temperatures in the 70s and 80s. Sioux Falls today 76, Rapid City 83. Let's take a quick look at tonight. Comfortable weather. Overnight lows will drop back into the upper 40s, low 50s. Sioux Falls at 46 and Rapid City in the upper 50s. Look at the big picture, very little. The storm tracks are pretty much few and far between here. High pressures are dominant weather features. So this week is going to be pretty much a cakewalk when it comes to the particulars of the forecast. Next week, we're going to have all sorts of things to discuss, and we've brought that conversation up earlier in the show. So if you missed that earlier, you'll want to check out some details at KELOLAND.com because next week will be a lot more active. We've got those 40s now, 45 in Mitchell, 48 in Huron, 55 Chamberlain. Here's how we start the week, warm and mild. We'll keep that word going into tomorrow. Southerly winds. We might even hit 90 out at Phillip. I think Wednesday looks warm, maybe some showers in Iowa. We'll keep an eye on that, see how far north that goes, but I'm inclined to keep Thursday dry for the vast majority, even Friday. The weekend, though, could be a little more active as we start to see a trend toward a storm system moving through. At this point, we're putting Sioux Falls in there at a 20% chance of rain on Saturday. That's also in the forecast for Aberdeen, but right now the northern counties of South Dakota may end up being a little bit more active on Saturdays, so keep that in mind. I think a lot of 80s this week in Pierre, 83 today and tomorrow, 79 on Wednesday, and Rapid City, 87 tomorrow. Then it starts to cool a little bit at the end of the week with those chances of rain in the weekend. Guys?
Thank you, Brian. That's our time. Thanks for watching.
Have a great day.